You're watching my little podcast called the Knits and Beads Podcast, and I am Lorelei Eurto. I'm a jewelry designer in upstate New York, and I knit in my free time. This is my little podcast to talk about mostly what I've been working on in the fiber arts. I've been, as usual, obsessively knitting, and I have a couple of things to show you today, so I'm excited to have a little podcast. I have no show notes written out for myself other than a few patterns jotted down, so as always, this podcast is going to be on the fly, which some people might not dig so much, but it's just how I operate. When I get the bug that I want to film a podcast, that's usually what happens. I just sit down and start filming. So forgive me if it might seem disjointed, but I will try my best to have a fairly put together show today. We'll see what happens. I have, like I said, a couple things to show you. I've got a finished object to show you. I've got 2 works in progress, some stash acquisitions, and some dream knitting that I'm thinking about working on in the very near future. So without further ado, I will jump right in. My finished object today is my Tegan cardigan. I will stand up to show you. This is a lovely pattern by Carrie Bostic Hogue. I think that's how I was told it was pronounced. Thank you, Kelly. Kelly of Celtic Cast On, I think, told me that's how she's always heard it pronounced. So this is a pattern that Carrie wrote for Quilt and Company, and it's knit with Quilt and Company Osprey, which is their, I believe, Aran weight yarn. And I got this yarn on D-Stash from the lovely Amy Edwards Green of Stranded Dye Works. She wanted to get rid of a sweaters quantity, and I was gladly able to take that off her hands. I have been wearing this sweater almost every day since I got it off the needles. It's that awesome. And it's completely what I had wanted for my wardrobe. I could see myself buying something exactly like this at the store, and it's a great color, goes with everything, so love it. Let's see what I have to say about this sweater. This sweater is knit in pieces. The sleeves were knitted flat. I knit them 2 at a time on a circular needle, and I also knit them 2 at a time using 1 ball of yarn. So I pulled from the outside of the ball for 1 sleeve and the inside of the ball for the second sleeve, and it worked out awesome. So yes, the sleeves are seamed, but otherwise the body and the raglan shaping is all knit in 1 piece. The shawl collar is knit about here, and then there's some seaming in the back, but otherwise very, very fun project. It flew off the needles, obviously. Aran weight yarn is going to do that because it's nice and bulky. And what else do I have to say? Love the yarn. I would definitely knit with Quilt and Company Osprey again in the future. And what else do I have to say? One of the best parts of this pattern that I really enjoy, well, 2 things that I really am happy with. First of all, I'm a large person. I am 5'10", and my arms are very long. And this pattern, I knit the size 40 bust line, and the sleeves were perfect. I mean, I followed the pattern to a T, and the sleeves are exactly the right length for me. Another thing I love about this pattern is the front of it stays nice and closed. So I don't feel like I'm constantly pulling it closed. I feel like sometimes cardigans, even ones that I have in my closet from the store, I am constantly adjusting or, pulling them closed. And I do notice that some cardigan patterns that are popular, like for example, I have seen the featherweight cardigan knit quite a few times on different podcasts, and to me it looks like it's very open in the front. And as a big busted lady like myself, that's not going to work. So luckily this pattern, I don't have to fight with that aspect of it. I like that the collar is comes up on the back of your neck. Yeah, love it. I recommend this pattern to anybody that wants to do an Aran weight sweater. It's amazing. I love the pearl ridges. It adds some nice interest. It's not super bulky. I don't feel like I can wear, I feel like I can wear like a winter coat okay, and it doesn't bunch up underneath my coat. And yeah, I'm really happy with it. Like I said, I've worn it almost every day. Just throwing it on in the studio when I'm working. Speaking of which, I'm in my studio today. Can't see too much because it's a little bit messy in here. I recently switched, this used to be my master bedroom, and it's not the master bedroom though. Two of the bedrooms in my 1930s bungalow are very similar in size. This one is kind of longer and narrow, and the other bedroom is a little bit wider. And the master bedroom is in the front of the house, and my studio used to be in there. However, it's really hot in the summer and really cold in the winter. It just made more sense. I've had my studio in this room before, and every now and then I just feel like switching everything up. So I ended up switching my studio to this room, which has been really great since I moved. I haven't needed the space heater at all. It's much warmer. And our bedroom, sleeping wise, we kind of like it a little bit cooler anyway, so it worked out perfectly. Okay, back to knitting. Sorry, went on a little tangent there. So I have been working on a couple of things which you may or may not have seen me share on other social media. I did talk about this one project last week, or the last time I podcast, and it is my Excuse Me shawl. Excuse Me is a wonderful brioche shawl pattern written by Stephen West, and I'm keeping it in my bucket bag by Jenna Rose Handmade. I got some swag on there. The rows are getting long. I must say, it's kind of just, whew. I had to start another project because I was like, I kind of need a break from the brioche. Not saying that it's not fun to knit. It's just now that the rows are longer, it takes a really long time to get through the 4-row repeat, like an hour. So I'm finding that I'm not working on this as much as I was in the beginning, but it is growing very fast. It is considerably bigger than the last time that I showed you. And I have started working on the 4th color, which is the yellow. So it actually goes like this, just so you know. So that's kind of the back of the neck there. It's getting big. It's getting very big. It's so squishy. Oh my gosh. I'll be anxious to see how it blocks out too. So I really love the colors. I love them even more when I see them on camera. The yellow is a bit more brighter than it's showing up. It's blowing out a little bit because of the lighting, but it's pretty neon. All the colors are pretty neon. So to reiterate what I'm knitting this with, oh, and here's the back. That solid gray is Knit Pick Swish DK, and in the Dove colorway. This is I Love Lisa Frank by Wool and Boone. This is Dirty Laundry by Peepaloo Fields. These are all DK weight. This is Kindred Red, and the colorway is Sleeping Amongst the Poppies. I love the little flecks of black in that yarn. It's amazing. And the yellow is also Wool and Boone, and this is Super Happy Party People, I believe. And it's got really nice speckles. Like, it's pulling in all the other colors from the shawl. So actually every color that I used has another color from one of the other yarns in it. So it's good, it's really good. It's just taking me a really long time. So now I'm getting through the fourth color. I still will have about, let's see, I'm doing 12 repeats of yellow. I've done 12 repeats of every color. I think I have 3 or 4 more, and then I'll have to do 8 more repeats of another color. So I'm not sure exactly what I'm gonna do. I thought about trying to find a teal, because there are some teal specks in this, there are some teal specks in this. I thought about having one more stripe, but I haven't been able to find one that I like online in the DK weight. I did contact Nicole from Hue Loco to see if she could dye me some, but she doesn't have any DK. So what I may do is just repeat the I Love Lisa Frank on the bottom. I think that's probably what I'm going to do, because I have a fair amount of that left. I mean, that's like 3/4 of a ball of it. So I think that's what I might do. And just continue on until I run out of yarn. And then it'll be done. So, fun project. I'm still loving brioche. I say it brioche. I don't know if that's how you say it, but I'm drinking water today. I'm trying to up my water game. It's really hard to drink a lot of water. I'm supposed to drink 4 of these a day, and I can get through 3. I'm trying. So that's my work in progress number 1. Hopefully we'll have that close to finished, if not finished, next time I podcast. So, as I mentioned before, I started another project just to get me through that project. And I chose a pattern that I saw on Instagram, and it ended up being like 50% off for a very limited time only. So I really loved this. I didn't bring a pattern, shoot. I will insert a pattern picture of that here so you can see what that looks like. Hopefully, if everything goes well. So the pattern calls for a DK weight, and I end up using some DK weight alpaca that I had bought at Webb's on my very first little field trip to Webb's in Northampton, Mass. I had a trio of 3 colors. This kind of coral red, this creamy white, and this very pale green. And I really didn't know what I was going to knit with them. In fact, I think I bought them in the summer and I was like, there's no way I'm knitting with the alpaca until the winter. So here we are in the winter. It's a perfect opportunity to knit with alpaca. It's fuzzy. I mean, fuzzy. You can see the halo on that. It's fuzzy. It's soft, but it's fuzzy. I don't know how much I love it. The yarn, I mean. The pattern's really fun. So it's a 3-section crescent shaped, very long shawl, and it's not really very deep. The colors are separated by a dark color, and I chose this Plucky Knitter Traveler DK that I had in my stash. This is all from stash because I'm entering as many projects as I can into the make whips not waste knit along or craft along that's being hosted by Hey Brown Berry, which is Mars. Mars, what a brilliant idea to make whips not waste. And since I obviously have reorganized my yarn stash, I now know what I've got, and it's a lot easier to knit from stash. So anyway, back to this shawl. The shawl is called, I will put it here on the screen for you if I can't remember the name of it, and I probably couldn't pronounce it anyway. It's based on a Japanese garden, I believe. The sections are made up of really cool slip stitches and cabling. These are some slip stitches on the top that I believe represent a blossom of some sort, if I remember correctly. And then there's my Plucky Knitter stripe. Oh, the colorway is called Antiqued. And this yarn is Amano yarns, and it's not, that doesn't have color names, it's got numbers, and I will put all this information in my show notes when I eventually make them. So this is kind of a cream color, and the pattern is hard to see, but it's kind of a really subtle cable. And then the final, so then there'll be another stripe of the Antiqued, and then the bottom will be the green. And oh, it's such a lovely color, isn't it? So pretty. It's like, so, it reminds me of spring. This this cake is looking a little bit sad. The final section is more slip stitches, and it's a really, really cool pattern. So I just wanted to try some different things. I like shawls like this because it exercises my technique muscles and to try new things. You know, I haven't really done anything like this for texture, and it's flying off the needles like super fast. And I don't know if it's because I've just been burnt out by the brioche or what, but I'm excited to get through this. I think it'll be really pretty with that green on the bottom. And that's 4 more skeins kind of used up from my stash, which is the whole point of Make Whips Not Waste. So I'm housing this in a new bag. Let me show that to you. I recently went on Little Skein in the big wool. Little Skein and the Big Wool was having a sale, a studio sale, and everything was on sale, and I couldn't say no because I'm not buying any yarn. Well, I'm not supposed to be buying yarn. More on that later. So why not buy bags? I gotta buy something, people. My God, it's a long winter. This is so pretty. First of all, I love, love, love these little flowers. They're, what are they called? So the motif is kind of a Sleeping Beauty, and it's got kind of a stiff interfacing, but I like that. It's got a nice wide bottom, so it sits up by itself, and it's got this gorgeous floral in the interior and this nice magenta zipper. And it's got such cute little details like that, and it says happiness on it. You can clip anything on there, and their little label, Little Skein the Big Wool. I also got another bag while I bought that one. I'm still trying to think of the name of those dang flowers. It'll come to me. This is the other one that I bought, Little Sock Sack. This is a drawstring. And I just love those owls so much. Oh my God, they're so cute. It's got a little doohickey on it. Another one of those little rings. This ring says joy. Cute little bag. Not that I am a sock knitter, but I hope to try another pair of socks sometime soon. It's lined. There's no interfacing in this one though. So, yeah. Might as well jump right into the rest of my acquisitions since I have more. I have another bag. Jane Bramley has, her business name is Rose and the Wren, and I follow her on Instagram. And if you don't follow her, you must, because she just opened an Etsy store, or an online store. It's not Etsy, I'm sorry. And I fell hard for these bags that she's been making. And she showed a picture, and I was kind of waiting to see when she was going to open a store, and she did. I love everything about this. It's amazing. The little lace detail, these little mountains. There's her little label, Rose and the Wren. The fabric is gorgeous. It's lined with some really thick fleecy interfacing. It's got a magenta zip, little leather pull. So cute. Lined. So stinking cute. I can't even. It's adorable. So definitely check her out. Follow her on Instagram for her next update. I believe all 3 of these bags sold. She's got some other cute things though, little notions pouches that are adorable. Definitely check her out. I was really happy with that purchase. Love it. Okay, and remember I said I should not be buying yarn? Well, Stacy, she got me right here. She got me with this yarn. Stress Knits. Check out her store if you haven't already. This is on her favorite sock base. It's a 80/20 superwash merino nylon, 400 yards, and the colorway is called Impulsive, which is me in a nutshell. And if you could describe me with a skein of yarn, this would be the skein. Greens and blues with blush showing through. Yeah. I'm thinking sockhead hat for this. That's what I'm thinking. Or patterned socks, which I haven't tried yet. I don't know. I feel guilty casting on another pair of socks when I have 2 pairs of socks on the needles not done yet. But, had to have it. She's got high pressure updates and you kind of have to snag them when you see them. So, I got it. Don't get up there. Cassius has come to visit. He likes to be naughty. Cassius, what's up, buddy? It's like, why are you not paying attention to me? So I have a couple of other things to show you. I got a couple books lately. Hannah Fettig. She has a YouTube channel. You gotta go check it out. She was talking about her brand new book, Texture. Cassius, don't be naughty, okay? Doesn't always have to be about you. So she was talking recently about her new book, Texture. So I was like, well, I gotta get that. And in her video, she was talking about how kind of Texture is an extension of her other book that she wrote, Home and Away. So I said, well, I might as well get that too. These books are amazing. Not only are all of the sweater projects gorgeous, I mean, gorgeous, and the photography, and just the book in general is just gorgeous. It has so many great tips and tricks like swatching and gauge and knitting in the round and talking about fit. There's a hat in here too. So it's not all sweaters. Choosing your size. Lots of really great tips. And just look at the photography. Oh my gosh. This one is also awesome. All of the patterns are based on texture, all over texture. Like, oh, it's so great. So I can definitely see myself trying out some of these patterns in the future. I like that she has little smaller projects too, like hats and kerchief. That's pretty. I could see myself knitting that. And anyway, a really great addition to my knitting library. Absolutely. Very happy with these. I got them on Amazon. We'll talk a little bit about sewing. Last time I went down to see my mom for it was for Christmas actually, but it was a couple weeks after Christmas. You can kind of see Cassius. Monkey, come here. Come here and say hi to the podcast. This is Cassius. He's one of 2. His brother is downstairs. They are 3 years old and super naughty. Okay, so when I went to see my mom, she showed me the quilt she's making me. She's making me a quilt. It's been a year in the making, and it's an owl quilt because owl fanatic. And I cannot believe my mother made this. It's amazing. So the quilt is based on panels, and each panel has a hand-pieced owl that she made, and each one is different. And she ended up giving me 4 extra panels because they were left over. So I brought them home, and I didn't know what I was going to do with them, and then I put one in a project bag. You can kind of see it here. I'll show it in a minute. So she initially was going to put these panels, she thought that they looked like aliens, that the owls didn't come out the way she wanted them to. And so she was going to put them in a pillow, but I think they're adorable. Each one's different. They're so cute. And the quilt is amazing. There are some panels that have 2 owls on them that are really cute too. So I can't wait to show that to you when I finally get it. It's not quite done yet. So I brought these home, and yesterday I sat down and I sewed. First I went to Joann's because a lot of the fabric that's in my stash won't go with these. I choose typically modern prints, and a lot of what I had did not go with these florals. So I wanted to get something that was really kind of the same color as this background and just keep them really, really clean and simple. And my idea was to sell them. And I probably will sell the other 3 if they come out okay. This is the one that I made, and I'm probably going to have to keep it because there's some flaws, unfortunately. But he's really cute. So I bought this kind of plain cream canvas material at Joann Fabrics. Got it on sale. And I lined it with a solid cream cotton. Nice and light on the inside so you can see what's in there. And cream zip. It's got a boxed bottom. So there's some issues such as that. Yeah. I'm not that good. I know, I'm still learning. I think the problem is I don't give myself enough, what's the word I want? Enough of a salvage. Like when I'm sewing the edges, I'm sewing too close to the edge, basically. So this one's mine. It's okay. I don't mind it because, you know, he is kind of scrappy. And that's not going to bother me. It's not going to bother me. So I'm looking forward to sewing these guys up into their own bags. So I bought enough fabric for that. So a little collaboration between me and my mama, which is great. So fun. And she claims that she's kept the templates for the owls, so she will be able to make me more if this is a huge hit and I want to make more. Yeah, so anyway, I'm going to talk about some future knitting and then I'm going to wrap it up. So, a couple things I've been obsessing about is some projects I want to knit in the very near future. One is a shawl, a brioche shawl. Have you seen Knit Graffiti on Instagram? Well, her name is Leslie Ann Robinson, and she has some really, really awesome patterns available on Ravelry. And the one I want to knit is called the Ariat. I don't even know if that's how you pronounce it. I'll put it on the screen here. And it's an asymmetrical brioche shawl. And it's knit. Oh, here's the other kitten. Hi, do you want to say hi to the podcast? This is Django. Say hi to the camera. See, look. He's not very impressed. He's come up because he thinks he needs a second breakfast. But as you can see, he doesn't need any more breakfasts. He's very big. Both of them are so fat. So, it's knit with single ply yarn, which is not something I have a lot of. So, I reached out to Jess of Haven Fiber Arts, and she said that she would be willing to dye me whatever colors I kind of wanted. So I had a couple of ideas in my head of a teal and kind of a chartreusey green with like a creamy light gray white color, a light gray color. So she's like, done, I can do that. So we actually worked out a barter, which there is nothing better than bartering. I made her 5 pairs of earrings so far, and I'd probably make her a bag, and I don't know what else. But, okay, get down. Why do you need to be up there? So naughty, Tanya. Now I got them both in here. Okay. So, she is graciously sending those to me. And those are what I'm going to use for this shawl. So the shawl is asymmetrical, and it starts at the bottom edge corner and goes up like this. And the reason I like that is because the rows you're working back and forth aren't long. Like the longest is when it gets, you know, the widest at the top. And that's still not that long. It's not like this Stephen West number, which the rows are going to be hella long when I get to the last end of it. So that's what I like. That's the kind of thing I like. I also want to knit Charlotte Borey's shawl pattern. Her Brio shawl pattern also features shorter rows. So love brioche, don't love it in a long row. So makes sense, right? So I have a co-host. The other thing I'm obsessing about is knitting another sweater. And I found one that I love. I love it. I would buy it in the store. It's amazing. It's by Amy Miller, and it's called Lulu, which is hilarious because Lulu Bell was my childhood nickname given to me by my grandmother. So Lulu is a turtleneck sweater. It's a pullover, and it's got all over texture on the front and back, and then different texture on the arms, I believe. And it's got this really cool high-low hem on it along the bottom, and it's just really flattering, and I love it. So the yarn that she used in the sample is Barocco Ultra Alpaca, and that's really not a very pricey yarn. It's about $10 to $12 a skein, and I would need about 7 skeins. So I'm gonna try to save my money. I also am thinking about doing a D-stash on Ravelry, like uploading the yarns that I want to kind of maybe trade out for something else. I know a lot of people look on there for yarn, so I might try that. I don't know if I'll get any bites on it. But there's so much that I bought in the beginning of my knitting adventure that I don't know why I bought. They're not 1 skein of it or 3 skeins of it. Between 1 and 3 skeins of everything I have, it's not enough for anything really. And now I'm into this sweater knitting. I feel like I want bigger quantities of yarn, and I need to be smarter about that in my future yarn purchases. So that's it, 40 minutes in, and I've run out of things to say. So you can find me on the internet. I'm on Ravelry and Instagram as Lorelei Eurto. You can check out my Etsy store if you want. It's LoreleiEurtoJewelry.etsy.com. I have a website where I sell jewelry and jewelry components, as well as some sewed up stuff like project bags and things of that nature. And my website's LoreleiEurto.com or LoreleiJewelry.com. LoreleiEurtoJewelry.com. And that's it. So just want to say thank you so much for sitting through this episode and every other episode if you're a returning viewer. If you're brand new, I hope you come back and check out at least the Excuse Me shawl when that's done, because that's going to be freaking amazing. And I think that other shawl is going to be okay. I don't know. We'll see. It's really fuzzy. Have you ever knit with alpaca? I don't know if I dig it. It's soft, but it's like fuzz everywhere. So please come back and see me again if you want to. I wanted to mention podcasts today. Which ones have I found that are good? Check out Jessamine from The Knitted Towel. She's got a really great YouTube channel. Check out Celtic Cast On. She's got a great channel with lots of tutorials and things like that that are really fun. Did I mention yet Kim Smith Happy? She has a really great yarn store in Bristol, UK, and she started a really, really good podcast that's called Alternate Universe. Definitely check that out. I might have already mentioned it. I don't know. I can't remember. Anyway, thanks. See ya. Bye.